What happened to Dwayne Powers at the end of Nancy Drew Game 20?
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anyone will ever know for sure.
Forget that explanation. Let's see if we can figure out what really happened. The game gives us 3 different possibilities. First,
Was the boat just a decoy?
I don't think it's a decoy because I can't figure out what it's a decoy for. If that's the fake getaway vehicle, where's the real one? Does Johnny have a secret float plane that nobody noticed? Is there a second boat on the island? Nancy's sailboat isn't visible in the ending, so it's possible he stole that. We do have a map of the area for reference. Each line is 1.9 miles, meaning San Salvador is about 35 nautical miles away. The underwater Sudoku puzzle is 1 nautical mile away, so it'd take about a half hour to sail from Dread Isle to the next island, assuming that the wind doesn't stop. That's definitely possible. It still seems dumb to me. Why would he give up his motorboat for a much slower getaway vehicle? Not to mention, someone would eventually notice the sailboat is missing and they'd guess what happened. Here's a more likely possibility. Dwayne says,
I was hoping to get all 3 of you down there, but your pal George lucked out. Oh well, gotta be flexible.
What if Dwayne went back to get George? He would have arrived around the time she called the authorities. Realizing the jig is up, Dwayne sets off the speedboat as a decoy. He wants everyone to think he's dead or somewhere else. In the meantime, he hides out on the island until he thinks it's safe to leave. I'm guessing he'd hide out in the Bat Caves. He left his fake ID in the cave, so he's been in there before. Here's the second possibility that the game gives us.
Did Dwayne meet up with someone and make his getaway in a boat I wouldn't recognize?
I think this is the most likely scenario because Dwayne says he has a partner in crime.
You see, one of the men who worked at the Monkey Research Center here did volunteer work at the prison after he retired. We got to be friends. Good friends. Such good friends that he gave me a book the monkeys had found somewhere here on the island. He was sure it would lead to Cibola, one of the fabled lost cities of gold, but he couldn't decode it, nor could I.
Dwayne's partner is never mentioned after that. Who is the monkey researcher? What happened to him? The only monkey researcher we know is Sonny June, who's definitely the type of guy who deals with lawbreakers and searches for long-lost treasure maps. I'd like to say Sonny isn't the type to agree to a kidnapping plot, but I don't know. He did some pretty sketchy stuff in the Shattered Medallion. Plus, Dwayne could have misled Sonny about what he planned to do. Sonny's the getaway driver in this scenario, so he doesn't need to know all the pertinent facts. If Dwayne has a getaway driver, that would explain why he's in such a rush to leave the island. He has to be in a specific place at a specific point in time. This is why he doesn't have enough time to get George, and why he refuses to take the bait when Nancy tries to delay him.
No, wait, stop! Come on, Dwayne, let's talk. I want to hear more. You know, about how smart you are for coming up with such an incredibly clever plan.
Sorry, no time. I've got a tide to catch.
Of course, it's possible Dwayne doesn't have a partner waiting in a getaway vehicle. He's just anxious to leave before the island's owners return. Maybe the monkey researcher is just a red herring who has nothing to do with the scheme. Maybe he gave up on finding the treasure years ago, which is why he was willing to give El Toro's journal to Dwayne. If Dwayne did escape the island, with or without a partner, I think he went to find the lost city of gold. According to the map, it's in southeast Utah. The river by the map's destination is the Colorado River. I don't think any of the Nancy Drew games reference Utah outside of the US map in warnings at Waverly Academy. So there's no follow-up about Dwayne going to Utah to find Cibola. The game's third possible explanation for Dwayne is that he's dead.
Or did he, while gloating over the map, accidentally fall overboard and drown?
This is unlikely. Not to be morbid, but dead bodies usually float, unless they're weighted down. Plus, Dwayne has underwater glow sticks in this game, which implies that he can swim. So that's my analysis of what happened to Dwayne after Ransom of the Seven Ships. I personally think they left Dwayne's fate open-ended on purpose, so they could bring him back someday. If this game and Dwayne had been super popular, they probably would have brought him back for Game 30. Instead, this is a game most people don't like to talk about, so we're probably never going to get a follow-up to Dwayne. I personally like the idea that Sunny June was Dwayne's getaway driver. I like the idea of those two characters interacting. It would be hilarious to see them try to have a normal conversation.